let's get into our second recipe, which is going to be very, very simple and amazing to taste. Now, when we look for a meat substitute, jackfruit is the best substitute. Personally, I never enjoyed the odor and the flavor, but after trying out this recipe, I've actually fallen in love with jackfruit, and I'm sure you guys are going to love it too. Very simple ingredients. We're going to take some jackfruit. I have used the frozen one. You can use a fresh one. These are the sweet potato. If you see, I haven't really peeled them. I've just steamed them, and I'm going to show you what the trick is about steaming. And I love steaming my vegetables and not boiling it anymore. And we have some tomatoes, potatoes, carrots, tomato puree. I'm also going to be using my leek. You know, we don't usually use in our Indian cooking, but we'll use some leek to make our stew. Rice, if you just see, I have the brown rice, which is unpolished. I have made them ready and kept it ready so that we can just get going, and let's get started with our recipe. So in my kitchen, you're going to be seeing this big thing, which is always kept near my stove on the induction. Yes, I use a stove and also an induction. So why do I use this? I pour water and leave it into it. So this is always over here, and the water in it, I don't throw it because I steam all my vegetables. So if you're going to see, I'm going to put the carrots, potatoes, also beetroot, but I already steamed it in advance, but you can also put the beetroot over here. Now when I am going to be steaming them, I'm going to be adding some onions. If you just see, some onions here. So this is going to be my stock, the vegetable stock. I'm also going to be putting some leek. Just put this inside. Yeah. So here I have the leek here. Just chop them. So we don't need to put too many, just little bit. Or even the coriander stick or the mint stems, you can just put them to make your stock. It just adds a lot of flavor to our vegetable or any of the stews or soups you're making. I'm also going to be putting some carrot. I'm not going to peel the carrot. I'm just going to slice them and put them. Here, I love adding a lot of flavor to my food. So I can just see there is some celery here. I'm going to just take the stem out of this and just going to be throwing them here. Okay. So let that boil and let my vegetables get steamed here. So it's been 10 minutes, my vegetables are steamed, my stew is ready, and the aroma is amazing. Let's keep them aside and get my cast iron pan back into my kitchen. I love it. Here. So if you remember what we did in the last recipe, I do not use a drop of oil. We'll just wait for the pan to heat up and put our ingredients. So any cooking what you do, always remember, never put oil, and just imagine there is oil and make the tadka of Indian or Western or any dish you like exactly the same you cook, the way you cook. You won't even feel the difference out of it. My pan's, it's hot. I'm going to put some bay leaves.
Okay.
I'm adding some fresh herbs here, rosemary and thyme. You can use a dried one or the fresh ones. I'm using the fresh ones. I'm just going to saute them. Add some garlic. You can even omit garlic if you don't want to eat it. And we're going to be adding the onions. So I have used the finely chopped and the bigger cubes, both of them. Let's saute. And the trick, just remember that if you are going to be putting some salt, which I use the pink Himalayan salt, do not use a white iodine one. I'll keep reminding you in every cooking class of mine, because with the help of salt, the onions release water and that converts into my oil. Let's just saute it till it's translucent. Just open these. You're just going to enjoy, fall in love with the ingredients because it just smells so good. The aroma is so good. You know, I just love it when the family comes and says, "Oh, what are you cooking? It's smelling, the house is smelling so good." And that's why we need to use a lot of herbs and spices, because that's actually just enhances the taste of our dish. My onions are ready. I'm going to be adding some tomato puree because I don't want to use too much water here. I want to use my stock. So I want to use the puree first and then add the chopped tomatoes. So just remember that I haven't used, my tomatoes were, de-seeded. I didn't use, and just finely just chop them. So, it's not too mushy and we don't want those seeds in this dish. Just very, very finely chopped. Yeah. Let the rawness of the tomatoes go. We'll cook it till then. And how will we know? It's the aroma, which will just tell us, yes, it's no more raw. So this is getting cooked. Let's get our celery chopped so that we can put those here. It should be very finely chopped. And we're going to add some celery here. So these are highly nutritious. If you're looking for iron, you're looking for calcium, you're looking for magnesium, a lot of fibers. Here, this dish is full of all what our body needs. And trust me, our body is going to love us back. The food is going to love us back because we're giving and feeding the best ingredients what we can. Now it's time to use our stock. This just enhances the flavor. We're going to be waiting for the vegetables to boil and add our steamed vegetables. Add some salt, pepper, and jaggery. Just for the little sweetness, we're going to add a little bit of the jaggery. Let this cook for 10 minutes and let's cover it. So sweet potato, we need to dice them too. Sweet potato is one of the most nutritious ingredient and very sadly very neglected. And that's why I got this into the stew along with jackfruit to add the richness. Here, let's cover it with a lid. I am in love with the flavors and the aroma. Now it's time to put our jackfruit in it. Because it's canned, I am putting it at the end. If it's raw, you can put it a little earlier. Here. To add the richness, I'm going to be adding some cashew paste here. Let's cover it. So there are two tips which we need to remember for this recipe. One, I did not peel the vegetables. And why is that? Because the maximum nutrients are near the skin and we need to retain it. And the second one is that always keep a steamer. You can also use a pressure cooker if you don't have the steamer which I showed you. And the same way you can retain all the nutrients. Do not steam the vegetables. If you boil them, all the nutrients you have to flush it out. But in this way, we can retain all the nutrients in the stock. We can use it for our gravies, dals, soup, stews, in whichever way you want. So I use the steamer, but if you do not have the steamer, you can use a pressure cooker and put a vessel, put the water down and put the vessel on top, so that we can actually retain all the nutrients of the vegetable and do not throw them the way we throw it when we boil the vegetables. So these two tips just remember for every cooking. तो हमें ये हमेशा याद रखना है कि इंसान आज के टाइम में सिर्फ मुंह से नहीं खाता है, आँख से भी खाता है, नाक से भी खाता है, कान से भी खाता है. So we have to present it so beautifully, and that's what we're going to do. Is going to be plating the rice in the middle and actually pouring the gravy all around. Just put it all around like this. This can be a single plating for one person, and trust me, nobody. I'm going to be adding on some celery in between and some cashew cream here. So how do I make the cashew cream? Just add water to cashews and make a paste out of it. Yeah, we're done.